Hi, this is James from the Malaysian Dietary Supplement Association, and welcome to another episode of our special series known as Natural Health with Nutrition and Supplements. And today, I have kind of a multinational or international list of participants. We have somebody from Malaysia and we have someone from the US, all the way from California. And the company that I have today, this MADSA member, it has been around for 41 years, and it has a very interesting background as well as a personality. So if you're a Malaysian and you love football, stay around, stick around, and listen very carefully to the message that we're going to reveal here. And without any further ado, or before I do that, let me just remind you, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will get notifications every time we release a new video. So with that, let me just welcome the General Manager and Director of Herbalife in Malaysia, Stephen Chin. Stephen, over to you.
Hey, hi, James, and hi, Dana, all the way in the United States, right? Thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for the privilege for us to join you in this special call this morning to introduce ourselves. Just to let you know, if sometimes if I dart my eyes over here, I got a larger screen on my side. As you know, all of us are operating from home right now. So I've got this setup in my home where I've got my laptop in front of me, and I've got this larger screen, so I can see you guys better, right? So, well, James, yeah. So thanks for joining. Thanks for having us on this call. How should I start off? Should I talk about my background and something? How would you like us to introduce ourselves?
Yeah, Stephen. So I think great if you just tell us about your personal background as well as your company in Malaysia, and especially that number 15, which is on your screen.
Wonderful. Okay, let's start a bit about my background. So I have the privilege of leading Malaysia now into my 5th year here. And it's been a wonderful journey, right? Just going back a bit before I joined Herbalife Nutrition, I actually spent a long time in the pharmaceutical industry where I was involved in the distribution of medicines for quite a long while, right? And lo and behold, I didn't realize it would be somehow connected where I'm right now. So when I was back in the pharmaceutical industry, little did I know that, and I was doing very well, or rather the industry was doing well. And I was moving a lot of medicines to hospitals, pharmacies, and clinics across Malaysia for a long time. And every year, the growth did not slow down. In fact, the pharmaceutical industry is thriving. And some of the products, interestingly, that was doing very well for me then was products that was involved in hypertension, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high glucose, which needs a lot of insulin, right? So I happen to represent the biggest brands in the world. And so at that point in time, it was just about moving the medicines to make sure it reaches the people in need. And a little bit I related to how the people needed these medicines in the first place, until I had the opportunity. I was invited to join Herbalife Nutrition. So that's when I came to realize the importance of nutrition, awareness of nutrition, or rather the lack of awareness of nutrition that got people to be taking medicines in the first place, right? So all the problems I mentioned to you just now that needed medicine had to do with what you put in your body, what you're consuming. And when I was in that industry, people had reached a point where they need medical assistance, medical help, right? But I'm truly delighted now to be in Herbalife Nutrition because we're actually free of that situation, meaning we help to guide people and promote healthy, balanced lifestyle and consuming good nutrition so that they don't have to take the products that I used to be involved with, right? So I'm very delighted now. The last few years, Herbalife Nutrition have been doing very well in Malaysia as together with our distributors, we make a difference in the community by introducing a balanced nutrition and raising awareness of a healthy, active lifestyle. So that's been my journey the last few years. I myself have been a beneficiary of better nutrition. Again, results are not typical, right? It could be different for other individuals, but I was trying to lose weight as well when I was before Herbalife Nutrition. So I was around 76, not exactly big. I was a bit rounder. I would call myself maybe cute then. I was cutely round, right? but I didn't do it right, and I sort of got stuck around 73 kilos. So I was floating around there for quite a while. But through better awareness, I'm now able to achieve my target weight. Yeah, but which Dana, I'm sure we'll share later. But it's not just all about weight for us. It's about your total physical condition, right? So that's a bit about myself. Herbalife Nutrition has been around globally for 40 years now. So we just celebrated our 40th year anniversary last year. What a wonderful achievement. And in Malaysia, we opened the doors and started helping the community since 2006. So which is why this year, we're really, really delighted to celebrate our 15th-year anniversary helping Malaysians get healthy and happy in Malaysia. So that's hopefully that's a good introduction for who we are, James.
Okay, Stephen, great. Brilliant introduction, setting the groundwork about nutrition. And I'm also from pharmaceuticals, Stephen, you probably would know. And it's nice to hear that you are looking at prevention now, that you are advocating prevention rather than treatment. Everybody, pays lip service to prevention being better than cure, but putting it into practice is a totally different thing.
Absolutely.
So now I will move on to former professor, Dr. Dana Ryan, all the way from close by Hollywood. And would you jump in, Dr. Ryan, and just tell us about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me on with you guys. It's an honor to be with you. My background is pretty much anything having to do with how the human body moves and how we fuel ourselves. So I was an athlete my whole life growing up. I was a gymnast, went off to university, first started in psychology, in sports psychology, then realized, okay, I understand how the mind is working. Now, physiologically, what happens, I moved in and I studied exercise science. And then I studied the last component, which was nutrition. And so for me, it's about understanding the body as a holistic unit rather than just how do we move and how do we eat, but how do we do everything together to optimize the functioning of our body. Like you said, I spent some time as a professor. Now I'm the director of sports performance nutrition and education for Herbalife Nutrition based here in Los Angeles. And I have the distinct pleasure of getting to work with all of our sponsored teams and athletes around the world, as well as all of our independent distributors on sports nutrition and how to fuel their bodies so that they can make the most out of all of that exercise that they're doing.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ryan. And for those of you who are watching this, Dr. Ryan has been to Malaysia. She loves it here. I didn't ask her about the food, but we will probably leave that for another episode later on. And so I'll just move back to Stephen again. Stephen?
Sure.
So you said that Herbalife Nutrition was founded in Malaysia 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Can you just tell us about, the history of Herbalife Nutrition in Malaysia, very briefly? Maybe you want to talk about, some of the legacy products and where you are today.
Yeah, sure. Happy to do that. Right. So back in 2006, we opened up, the office is in right smack in the middle of the city, right in Kuala Lumpur. So we're in Plaza Si Hoi Chan, where we still are located right now. And so started from there, and now we branch across the country. And our sales basically reach out to community through our distributors, right? So one thing we've learned is that, hey, a lot of people wants to really get healthier. They want to, and one of the things they usually want to improve first thing is knowing that, I talk about Malaysian food just now, it's delicious, it's affordable, it's everywhere. And because of the availability of it, it has helped put Malaysians on the map as one of the fattest in Asia, right? So based on the 2019 Health and Mobility Survey by the Ministry of Health, one out of every 2 adults are overweight or obese in Malaysia. Unfortunately, that's a champion title we've been holding for quite a number of years and still stubbornly not letting go. And that's because of amazing food. Now, that's all right. What we need to do is to have better balance and better awareness of what we put in the body so that we can continue eating and enjoying our food all the time. So what Herbalife Nutrition do is, as people are looking to be healthy, they connect to us through our distributors, right? So we have, with the Humble starting in Kuala Lumpur today, we have our offices in Penang, in Johor, and in East Malaysia. But the way we really reach out to communities is through our distributors and to more than 1,000 nutrition clubs across the country that's run by our distributors. So that's where we are today, James.
That's interesting. Stephen, you just mentioned the word nutrition clubs. What happens in these clubs, Stephen?
So it's run by our independent business distributors, and effectively all of them started out as customers. They all started customers and having great product results. They realized they had an opportunity to not just enjoy the result by themselves, but by making a difference by helping others achieve the same results of getting healthier through weight management, right? So one of the ways that they do that is by having nutrition club and inviting people to the nutrition clubs, and through the clubs is basically raising the awareness of nutrition, and also then introducing them access to our products, which is basically all the nutrition products. And one star product being our Formula One mixed protein soy drink, which is basically a global leader in meal replacement and protein supplements combined.
Okay. Now, Stephen, can you just point out which one of those buildings in your background is where your office is, if it is there?
Let's see. I got to move a bit, right? So let's say, okay, this right behind me is the KL Tower, right? KL Tower. I'm within not even jogging distance. I can just walk over to KL Tower, right? So that's how close we are. So if you're near the proximity of Menara KL or KL Tower, you are very, very near me. You will see us, right? Especially at night along Jalan Raja Chulang. Our signage is lighted up. So if you're driving along the city at night, you drive past Jalan Raja Chulang, you will see us. We're in Plaza Sihoi Chan, just nearby the KL Tower.
So you are in the heart of the city and within striking distance of all the major landmarks in KL, as we can see from the background. Now, I went over to the Herbalife Nutrition website and I saw a phrase that caught my eye, and I would like you to explain what it is. You have a process which is very interesting. It's known as seed to feed. What does that mean?
Well, thanks for asking that, and a great question as well, James. That's one of the proud initiatives we have in Herbalife Nutrition, where we basically we own and are very familiar and control the process from where we harvest our ingredients, how we manufacture ingredients, all the way to the access of our nutrition by our customers. Every single step along this supply chain is adheres to the highest standards to ensure the highest level of quality controls, the highest level of safety as well throughout this, what I call it, the seed from when it started all the way to the feed process, right? So effectively, from the concept to the physical harvesting, the manufacturing, the formulations, and to making sure it reaches to our customers, it is a full control of application of science, quality, and safety throughout the process. So that's something we're incredibly proud of, to ensure what you read on the label, it's pretty much a guarantee. What you see on the label is what you will get as what you expect when you basically consume our products.
So, Stephen, normally the phrase you just use, what you see is what you get, is normally used on, in digital arena, we see week. So it's nice to hear that even with food, you can apply this term, what you see is what you get. And
just to chime in,
yes.
James, and some might not know, and we're very proud of this globally. The what you see is what you get. And we say we guarantee, but we truly guarantee that customers have a 30 days. We call it the gold standard. Yeah, our customers have a 30 days guarantee. We give a guarantee that if you have any reason to, we replace the product. You can return the product to us. So that's an absolute guarantee to tell you. We're very, very confident in our products in terms of the safety and quality and science behind it, that we offer a 30 days quality guarantee. Yeah, so that's a gold standard we have, and which we're incredibly proud of.
Wow, that's remarkable, Stephen, because very seldom in healthcare do you find such guarantees. I mean, when you buy a car, you don't get such a guarantee. and probably not even a computer. Huh? So that's really fascinating. Now, Stephen, there's something else that popped up as well, and that is you had mentioned that 1 out of 2 Malaysians is obese. I'm guessing this is from some market research, either Herbalife has done in Malaysia or some government agency.
Well, in fact, this study, if I'm not wrong, it started back in 2011. It was actually done by Malaysia's Ministry of Health. It's actually the health and morbidity study tracking the various the health trends in the country. And one of the big chunk of it is basically focusing on the overall weight and BMI of Malaysians. I think the government have been trying for many years now to raise awareness of the importance of eating healthy, and they have introduced various, which we're incredibly supportive of. The initiative of, let's say, introducing the sugar tax to basically reduce the intake of sugar, because Malaysians' consumption of sugar is unfortunately on a very high side, and recently even salt as well. So it's not just sugar but salt, and also introducing this concept of what you call it, a proportionate eating. Yeah, we call it the suku sparrow initiative, which is a quarter half, very close to our philosophy of 30-30-40. Yeah, we also have this global nutrition philosophy of how much intake of carbohydrates you have. And look, maybe I'll let Dana take it. She's the expert in this area, right? But we have this concept. So the government is trying all efforts to do it, to raise awareness. So it's actually through the health and morbidity study. So the latest one was published in last year, following their surveys done in 2019. So it unfortunately has shown the trend have been going upwards. So it's been suddenly going upwards to now 50.1%. So 50.1% of adults in Malaysia is either classified as overweight or obese. Yeah.
Even when we were talking about seed to feed, I got the impression that Herbalife Nutrition is a totally or vertically integrated organization. Do you own the entire process from seed to feed?
That's definitely a big chunk of the process. Is if it's not directly owned by Herbalife Nutrition, then we are in full control and fully aware of the whole process of it, right? So that's why it's a major initiative for Herbalife, and this has been going on for quite a while now. So it's gradually controlled, but today it's effectively we are either owning the whole process, or effectively we have full control over the manufacturing process. Not just manufacturing, but all the way from the plantations all the way until it reaches the customers.
Okay, thanks for that clarification, Stephen. So now I will just jump over to Dr. Ryan. Dr. Ryan, on your website, I saw a couple of phrases which struck me as interesting. I am aware of inner beauty and outer beauty, but on your website, I see the terms inner nutrition and outer nutrition. Now, you can explain those? What on earth is that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the skin is the largest organ in the body. And so we view that what we're putting onto our skin is really food and fuel for our skin. And we want to make sure that everything that we're putting into our body and onto our body is of the utmost and highest quality. And so when we talk about outer nutrition, that's what a lot of people refer to as skincare, and inner nutrition is what you think of more as the food and supplements. But ultimately, like I said at the beginning, the body is one holistic being. And so we can't forget about our skin. And so making sure that we nourish our skin as much as possible is really an important aspect of living a healthy, active lifestyle in all ways.
So I guess from that revelation, it means that Herbalife has both products for inner nutrition and outer nutrition. Would that be correct?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Ryan. So moving on to a very specific product, and that's F1 protein shake. I first got to know about F1 protein shake by tuning into a radio station, and that's when I realized that there was an advertisement out about this product. So, Stephen, can you just tell us what does this product do, and what are the benefits of consuming this F1 protein shake?
Hey, sure. And Dana, please chime in anytime as well. It is one of our most popular products in the world, our Formula One protein shake. In fact, Formula One basically equates to the first formula, the first product that's actually brought up by Herbalife from 1980, right? So effectively, the Formula One is a simple, convenient, and low-calorie, yet nutrient-dense choice for customers to start their day every day. Just to let you know, James, that every day, more than 5 million shakes are served around the world. In Asia Pacific, it's coming close to 1 million. So it's about roughly 944,000 based on last estimate that's being consumed by our customers across Asia Pacific every single day. So and the Formula One shake right now, based on the latest survey that's published by Euromonitor International, that's a very respected international survey company. The Herbalife Nutrition brand, we are known as the #1 brand in the world for meal replacement and protein supplements combined. And also proudly, just to share, just recently also recognized as the #1 brand in the world for weight management and well-being. So that's something that we're very proud of, helping people get healthier and happier across the world, across Asia Pacific, and right here at home here in Malaysia.
Well, you guys are stacking up the awards and recognitions all over the world, Stephen. And I was wondering, Stephen, when you mentioned F1 protein shake and the color red of your T-shirt as well as a background, it associated me with, the motor racing company with the prancing horse.
You could, right? A lot of things. It's the prancing horse colors, right?
Okay. So now you have a tie-up with this football star. And when I say football, I'm referring to, the real football. No offense, Dr. Ryan. So you have a tie-up with Cristiano Ronaldo. And I've got no clue which team he's with now. I do follow football, but, I'm not a fanatic. So tell us a little bit about this tie-up, Dr. Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a relationship we're, of course, very proud of, but it also represents one of our over 150 sponsored teams and athletes around the world. And so integrating into the sports space is something that's very important to us, but doing it in a way that's very authentic is really the cornerstone of how we approach all sponsorships. So whether it's the LA Galaxy, a team in South America, a team in Europe, a team in Australia or Asia, we want to make sure that every relationship that we have with athletes is authentic. And so it's not just, oh, here, wear our name on your jersey, or here's some product, I hope you figure it out. It's truly, how do we help integrate sports nutrition into what you do on a daily basis to help your performance? And in this relationship, we have taken the next step and created a product with Cristiano Ronaldo, which is part of our Herbalife 24 line. So this is our sports nutrition line, which one of the aspects of this line that I think is really important is that it's also banned substance tested. So depending on where we are in the world, we have different certifications, whether it's MADSA for sport, whether it's informed sport. And this is a third-party certification that's really important for our athletes to know that the products are very safe for them to use. But with this product with Cristiano Ronaldo, we wanted to make sure that we created something that fit his needs. So again, those relationships need to be authentic. We're not going to put someone's face on a canister if it's not something that would be important for that athlete. And so what we did was we looked at what some of his needs were. And like a lot of, I'll say football players, I'm practicing not saying soccer. So like a lot of football players, they need extra magnesium, extra B12. So you'll see that in this product. There's more magnesium, there's more B12. You'll also see, talking not just with Cristiano Ronaldo, but talking with the average person that exercises every day. They wanted a product that was not super sweet, that they didn't have to cut in half with water, that they could use as is. And so this is a product that really is created with the best of the best, the top of the top, but it's also easily utilized by that everyday athlete, like I think most of us are. And I think sometimes the everyday person thinks, oh, well, it's for this top athlete, maybe it's not for me. But the reality is he was inspiration. He helped pick the flavor. It was created around his needs, and it really also suits the needs of people that are active. And so it's very exciting that we were able to create this with an athlete that truly believes in the power of nutrition, because that is something as a company that's very important for us. We're not going to sponsor athletes that don't actually believe in nutrition. I mean, to the point where, he showed up at, the nutrition clubs that Stephen was talking about. He showed up at a nutrition club in Australia to get product at one point, totally unannounced. And so that as a company is something that's very important for us. If you look at our relationship with the LA Galaxy Football Club here in Los Angeles, we actually have 2 full-time dietitians that work every single day with the athletes, because that's what's really important for us, is that true integration.
So that's reassuring, Dr. Ryan, that your brand ambassador is a genuine ambassador for the brand, and not just a figure face, And is this the formulation that that you all have? Is that the CR7 that I have heard about?
Yes, so it's CR7 Drive, and so it is an electrolyte sports drink. So it's carbohydrate electrolyte blend. So for anybody that's training, anyone that's getting their heart rate up and sweating, we want to make sure that we're giving their body what it needs while they're exercise, which we know is carbohydrates and electrolytes. Okay.
Now, Dr. Ryan, you had also mentioned earlier that there is more magnesium, and is it B12 in this formulation? What do these 2 substances do? Why do we need that?
So B12 helps with carbohydrate metabolism. So like I said, there is carbohydrates. We know that carbohydrates are the fastest, easiest way for our body to produce energy while we're exercising. So we want to make sure that we have the best availability of not just carbohydrates, but B12 as well. And then with magnesium, we know it helps with muscle function. And this is something that sometimes a lot of athletes don't always pay enough attention to. When we look at muscle soreness, muscle recovery, magnesium plays a really important role.
Got it. Thank you. So, Stephen, moving back to you, Stephen. Now, you guys were in the Malaysian Book of Records in 2018. What was that for?
That's right. Oh, well, another good question, James. So it looks like you really, really get to know about us, right? So what happened is, James, Malaysians, we know the importance of breakfast, right? Certainly everyone's having their breakfast. And but a lot of people didn't realize, right? So why is it important in the first place? So the breakfast is actually the first meal that your body starts the day with after you went the longest period without nourishing your body, right? So from the time we had our last meal, for most Malaysians, it should be dinner. So let's say it's 6, 7, or 8 o'clock, and some maybe supper at 10 or 11 o'clock, right? So from that point on, we go to our rest, we sleep, right? And from that on until the next meal, for most Malaysians, that is usually the longest time that your body is effectively fasting, right? It's recovering, it's fasting, right? So, and then you start the next day, a full day ahead of you. So the first meal of the day is really important. It's supposed to power you up, gets you ready for the rest of the day. So you start it well, you're gonna have a great day. You don't start it so well, it's going to be a bumpy day, right? So we always believe in starting your day right, and it begins with the first nourishment you put in your body. And we realize for a lot of Malaysians, their breakfast selection is not necessarily guided by how healthy it is or how nutritious it is. In fact, based on a survey that we did, and it was recently done, it's done by Asia Pacific Cross, involving a lot of Malaysians, that for Malaysians, a choice of breakfast is guided by how convenient it is to prepare or how accessible it is, right? So it's not necessarily guided by what is important to start your day with, but how easy it is to make or how quickly can I get to it, right? And in fact, in a similar survey we did, so Malaysia's most favorite breakfast is actually coffee and toast. That's it, right? So we realized that, wow, if this is what Malaysians are starting the day with, there's certainly a lot of nutrition values that your body needs after the long overnight rest that need you to start your day, right? So we started this initiative to say we got to go out there and promote the importance of healthy breakfast and what it means. And what you need in the components of healthy breakfast, James, is first of all, you lose water as you sleep. A lot of people didn't realize you lose hydration and sleep. The first thing you need to do is to hydrate your body. Next thing you know, you just wake up in a full day ahead, you need to get your energy levels up, you need to energize. Okay. And finally, of course, before you head out the door to take on the day, you need to nourish yourself. So we had this campaign called the Healthy Breakfast, which focuses on hydration through our aloe drink offering, then to energize yourself, which is our tea offering, and then to nourish yourself with full nutrition through our Formula One shake, right? So we have these concepts, and we spoke to our distributors. Our distributors said it's a wonderful idea. Let's go out there and connect with the Malaysian communities to introduce this. So this really caught on, and this was also following the survey. So the survey done by the government last year. So before that, it was also run back, I think, 2015, already showing Malaysia's health trend was bad. And we realized we could make a difference with that trend by promoting healthy breakfast to as many people as possible. So we spoke to our distributors. They really like the idea. Again, they've all got great product results. They want to make a difference in the community. They say we should go out there and talk to Malaysians and introduce the concept of healthy breakfast. So it started as a spark. It caught on fire with the distributors. We had more than 1,000 points across Malaysia on a single day, just talking about healthy breakfast to the people, to the communities of Malaysia. So the Malaysia Book of Records then recognized our feat as the most number of breakfast advocates in multiple locations across Malaysia. So that was a proud moment. Again, our wonderful distributors who wants to make a difference to communities truly made that happen.
Oh, kudos, Stephen, you and your team for this achievement. Huh? This interesting. And you were mentioning about Malaysia's tasty breakfast, and so now I'll jump to Dr. Ryan. I wonder if you have had any of these breakfast items that Malaysians are notorious for, roti canai or nasi lemak or wonton mee or any of the other hundreds of noodles we have out there. But we won't be talking about that. We will spare the audience the details over that. But what I wanted to point out here is, Dr. Ryan, you have done some community-based nutrition on heart disease. What did you discover from that research actually?
Yeah, so what we were looking at is we were really looking at the impact of education and social support on overall health outcomes, and whether or not you can help improve someone's health outcomes by actually providing them with consistent physical activity and nutrition education. And I think while this was something that we did before I came to Herbalife, it really translates into why the Herbalife distributors are so incredibly powerful in their community, is because they are providing this social support for people that are trying to make changes. And so what we saw is, if you're providing someone with education and you're teaching them the why and how of what they need to do, but then in addition, supporting them on that process and saying, hey, I'm here for you, that makes a really big difference in the outcomes that somebody achieves. And so I think, when we look at these nutrition clubs, when we look at how our Herbalife distributors operate, they provide this social support for the community. And that level of being able to say, hey, I'm here for you, let me help you on this journey. And we know that support system lends itself to really powerful results.
Yeah, so I guess that's linked to what Stephen had earlier mentioned, those are the activities that got them got onto the Malaysia Book of Records. But I just want to circle back, Dr. Ryan, to the outcomes of this community-based nutrition on heart disease. Was there a positive impact on heart disease in any of the parameters?
Yeah, so we looked at
a decrease. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of different outcomes, and certainly everything trends in the right direction towards being able to help people with their overall health. I mean, you can look at a ton of different parameters when it comes to heart disease, whether it's BMI, whether it's CRP levels, different things like that. But certainly we know the impact of providing education, providing physical activity education and nutrition education certainly has a positive impact on overall outcomes.
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Ryan. So you had just mentioned two things there. It's not just nutrition, but it's also physical activity that goes, they work hand in hand in improving your health. Okay. So now specifically to you, Stephen, Herbalife Nutrition has been a long-time member of MADSA. I've got no clue how many years, definitely many, many years. But do you care to tell us what are your activities that you have with MADSA?
Oh, James, firstly, we are incredibly proud of all the work that you're doing, what MADSA is doing, and we are really honored to be a part of the association and all the efforts that you're trying to bring up to safeguard the industry, to safeguard the Malaysian consumer, and effectively towards the same goal, right? To raise the health of the Malaysians in the country, right? So we effectively together, we look to maintain and protect the interests of consumers to make sure that access to health supplements that is well regulated by the government. So we want to make sure that our efforts in helping raise Malaysians on the importance of that is done, and leverage, of course, for us to leverage on MADSA as well, on your ability to speak to the government influencers to make sure that how we could continue to collaborate. You hear them talking a lot more about private-public initiatives now. So we certainly are keen because there's this final goal of helping Malaysians get health and happier, right? So the fact that they open the doors is, and it's not going to be easy for them to talk to us one by one, right? So having someone like yourselves in MADSA being that voice, and they always reach out to you, and we're more than happy to contribute how we can to raise these efforts by the government. To basically put the Malaysian health trajectory back on the right path. So hopefully the next health and mobility survey study that they do is now trended towards the right direction.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen. And I must record my appreciation from MADSA for having Herbalife Nutrition as an active partner with us. And we look forward to many other activities that we're going to roll out in the near future, which are going to benefit Malaysians for sure. Okay, so now I would just have to come back to Dr. Ryan. Dr. Ryan, I sometimes do give presentations as well to the public, and I'm sure Stephen also does it. And one of the common objections that I get, and this is especially from the seniors, and I don't know if this is also the similar situation in the US, what I do get is that whenever I talk about supplements, whether it's health supplements, dietary supplements, the pushback I get is they say that I don't need to take supplements. I get all my nutrients from the food that I eat. As long as you have a balanced diet, or you eat according to whatever food pyramid that you follow in your country, you should be fine. What is your answer to them, Dr. Ryan?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a question that we get no matter what country I go to. I feel like that's a question that we get. And I think, there's a couple ways to look at it. One, like we talked about before, the importance of physical activity. So you've got to move your body. And when you move your body, you've got to fuel your body correctly. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of things that happen to your body while you're exercising, and you need to give your body the right nutrients around that workout. And timing for that is so important. And so, we know you want to have at least 20 grams of protein after any workout. So you finish your workout, you don't necessarily want to go home and make a whole meal. So having a protein shake after your workout gives you the convenience and the nutrition that you need in that right span of time, so that you don't have to go worry about making a meal. We also know that when you're active, your body has a higher reliance on vitamins and minerals. So making sure that you're getting a multivitamin, making sure that you're getting all of those nutrients that you need. And lastly, I think as much as sometimes we think we know everything that's in our food, sometimes we don't know all of the vitamins and minerals that are in the foods that we're eating, or maybe the vitamins and minerals that aren't in the foods that we're eating. So having something like a meal replacement shake that has a significant amount of micronutrients, I think is really important to ensure that you're getting all those things that maybe you can't see in the food. And it's just a great way to know that you're giving your body what it is that it needs.
I must say, today's discussion has been really remarkable because I have just learned another new phrase and fantastic phrase that you just mentioned, Dr. Ryan: move and fuel. Right, so move and fuel. That's a nice phrase that we have just coined now. And what you're alluding to also, Dr. Ryan, is the concept about micronutrients, which a lot of people do not look into. They look at the macro, just looking at the carbs and the proteins. And now there's also this rise in plant-based meat and so on. So the science, the jury is still out there about whether they provide the micronutrients or not. So time will tell. Thank you for emphasizing the concept of micronutrients, Dr. Ryan. And also, I think, I don't know if you have any opinions on this, but I think modern agriculture, when I say modern, probably over the last 60, 70 years, has caused plants and animals that we consume not to have the micronutrients that our grandparents and probably people as senior as me had when we were younger in the 60s
You're
and
still
70s.
young, Jim. You're still young.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, Dr. Ryan, go ahead. What are your comments about modern agriculture and nutrition?
I think there's certainly some validity to that. I think things have changed over time. Even if you look at the percentage of gluten in wheat and things like that, there has certainly been some changes over time. And so I think that focus on micronutrients and understanding how important of a role they play in your body, I think is something that should be more of a focus than what we always talk. Like you said, we talk about the macronutrients, the making sure there's protein, fat, carbohydrates, but we're really deficient in a lot of micronutrients. And so I think that's a really important focus. And I think that's a direction where nutrition should be going, is talking about some of those things as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Ryan. So, Stephen, I'm sure whoever has been listening to this video now, they probably have a desire and they're probably asking themselves, where on earth do I get F1 protein shake in Malaysia? How do I go about it, Stephen?
Oh, James, there's only one authorized channel for us to get access to our products, which is through our independent distributors, right? And we strongly recommend that as well, because the distributors bring a whole experience with them to make sure you get towards your health goals. That's a journey to take, right? And then that's why we effectively found this to be the most effective way of ensuring ultimately the people who consume our products, what they really want are the results, the better health, and usually improvement in their weight, right? So we found that having a coach to help, to support during the journey gets much better results than doing it on your own. So getting through our distributors means you get plugged into someone who can first give you a wellness evaluation to see where you need to know your starting point. You need to know that there's certain matrix that comes out to show how your fitness condition is. Now, sometimes, James, just because you look fit may not necessarily mean you are fit, right? You got to get a wellness evaluation done, right? So once you've done that, then you together with the coach, you set your goal, and then he will guide you along the way. Where along the way, you get plugged into a community of like-minded people as well who's trying to improve their health, right? So once you start on this journey with a coach and a community, wow, it's really more fun as well as you're trying to get on this health journey together. So that's why the only one authorized channel we have is through our distributors, because the distributors make a difference in your journey, and we call that the distributor difference. And so if any one of our listeners today who wants to know how to get connected to a coach, perhaps we can share with you a link, James, which you can insert together with the video, that we're more than happy to connect any interested listeners to the nearest coach who could help you in your health journey.
Okay, great, Stephen. So another important idiom that I picked up from you: don't judge a book by its cover. So don't think people are healthy just because they look beautiful or slim or whatever shape you are in. All right. And yes, as Stephen said, underneath this video in the description box, I'll be putting up the link for you to contact Herbalife Nutrition. As Stephen has pointed out, the supply chain from Herbalife Nutrition will be authentic, and therefore they can guarantee, provided you buy from one of the independent distributors. So
that's right.
From MADSA, the word from us is do not buy anything which is online in Malaysia because it could be suspicious. So just buy directly from Herbalife Nutrition. That's our message, because we find a lot of unregistered, probably dubious products on the e-commerce platforms in Malaysia. So stay away from those and just buy from the authentic companies. And Herbalife Nutrition, it's a MADSA member who sells genuine registered products in Malaysia. So any final words, Stephen or Dr. Ryan, that you have for the Malaysian listeners? Or this is on YouTube, so it's going to be a global audience. So what message do either one of you have? I will start with Dr. Ryan and end up with Stephen. Dr. Ryan, over to you first.
Thank you again for having me. Thank you for all the work that you do and making sure that people are getting safe products and safe supplements. I think it's really important that we have this regulation in the space. And I think this conversation is really important. And I think, like Stephen talked about, is something that we really pride ourselves on, is the safety and the quality of our products. So I appreciate being part of this conversation, and I look forward to being in Malaysia soon, hopefully, and trying all of the food that you guys have.
Okay, and for myself is continuing from the good points from Dana, right? The fact that the listeners who are listening in right now, they're probably interested to get to know a bit more about Herbalife Nutrition, or at least interested to get healthy, right? So the message would be, hey, now that awareness is better, take an action. It could be any action towards that goal, right? That's the very first start. Make a decision. If you're going to be healthy, of course, we recommend to connect up with a coach. Otherwise, don't think too much. Take action right now. We're coming out of a very difficult year from last year, still relatively new in 2021, and things looks much better moving ahead. Now is the best time to take action. That's why one of our tagline for our 15-year anniversary to say, hey, it's the challenging time is fastest. Look ahead. Sky is the limit. The time is now. So take action now. It's in your hands, right? So go all out and all the best, and then make it an amazing year.
Thank you very much. So I think this has been a beautiful session that we had, especially from our guests from the US. We thank Dr. Ryan and also Stephen from Malaysia and his team. And lessons, the take-home message is get a coach so that you can move and make sure you take the correct fuel as well. So when we say correct fuel, is micronutrients as well. So get in touch with Herbalife Nutrition from the link below. And also, please make sure, if you haven't yet, subscribe and click the bell icon so that you will get notifications of further episodes that we would have in the series Natural Health with Nutrition and Supplements. Thank you.
And thank you, James, and everything that you guys are doing at MADSA. Appreciate it. Thank you.